back again, but with the main girl, the woman of the show. It's all about her today. Miss Joy, that's playing Bobbi Kristina. Hi, Joy.
Hi. This is my biggest part yet. It's such an amazing story, and I'm so honored and humbled to have been able to tell it. Yes.
Okay. What made you audition for this role?
Well, I read with Leah Daniels Butler, who had actually brought me in for the pilot of Empire, and then she brought me back in again when there was a role for Taraji, young Taraji, that came up. And she brought me in actually for a few different things. And so when this came, I think it was kind of like she was trying to find something for me, like she believed in my talent. So when she brought me in for this, and me being such a huge Whitney fan, I was almost overprotective of just, making sure that the story was something positive and not anything negative, because, Chrissy had just passed it had been a few years by that point, but for me, I wanted to make sure that it was something tasteful. And as soon as I read the script, like after just minimally researching her, I realized that one of the things she said over and over and over again was that she really wanted her story told, and she felt like the world didn't get to know the real her. So I read the script, and it did that for her. And so, from the jump, I was like all in and like praying, God, please let me get it. Like, what's cooler than anything, I guess shedding light, giving some honor to Whitney Houston's favorite person in the world.
No problem.
Actually, my grandmother. She has like impeccable timing.
No problem. So tell us the moment when you found out that you got the part.
So I was actually filming on another set. I was working behind the scenes on Wrinkle in Time, and I was harnessed up like a couple feet off the ground. And so my phone was buzzing, and I was waiting for the call. The whole set and was waiting for the call. So I missed it, and I called my agent back at the time, and he goes, hey, Joy, we heard back from Bobbi Kristina camp, and I wanted to tell you myself that you booked the part. And I fell, which ended up being like a bounce, because I was harnessed, and everybody with me was like, where'd you go, and I was like, I got it. I got chills all over again. And so, it was just like this pretty TV-ish kind of moment, it was cool.
You're around the same age as Bobbi Kristina, so would it have been, when she was alive, when she lived, what kind of perspective does her story give you about trials or challenges you may have faced or may encounter in the future?
Yeah, playing this part, Kissy has definitely made me stronger. She had so many things stacked against her, and right before her untimely passing, she had just pretty much overcome them all and found the strength through her relationship with Bobbi to be like, you know what, I don't need this situation with Nick anymore to pursue my dreams. I can just do it. I've got Mom inside. She was in such a good space where she was, I guess confident and strong enough to say, I can pursue my dreams just as I am. And we unfortunately know how the story went, but because of that, as Joy, I'll have situations and I'm like, listen, Chrissy made it through X, Y, and Z. We can handle this, though. We can do it. So I just would love for other young women, even young men, to see her story, and even if they're in a domestic, an abusive relationship, sometimes you can't always tell the signs, especially with social media. Abuse has many different forms. So if they're in that situation, they'll see Chrissy's story and speak up, or parents will see the signs and speak up, and then people pursuing their dreams will realize, you have enough inside of you alone to go and pursue your dreams.
So what did you do to prepare yourself for this role? Like, what did you...
So I watched Being Bobby Brown front to back maybe 35 times. The Houstons on Our Own, same thing. And I just looked at it from Chrissy eyes. So I watched Whitney and Bobbi as though they were my parents on screen. And that gives you a completely different insight, when you feel like, oh, those are my parents, and then you think about how the world responded, and one of the things I learned about Chrissy was that she read everything, every comment, anything. People tell her don't read it, but she would read, and she would sit in her room for days sometimes and not come out, because the comments were so horrible. And actually, when we first started filming, they released that we were doing the project, and a lot of the comments came out, and they were nasty because people love to speak on things they don't know about, especially on social media where there's no consequence. And so I remember they were like, don't read it, don't read it. And I almost stopped, but then I said, Chrissy read it. And so I wanted to, little things like that, when I read everything, I kind of got a really good sense of like who she was and what she went through, things that were inside that she didn't always speak about. And then, we had a lot of her friends on set. Her best friend, Alex Reed, actually plays herself in the movie too. So I got a lot of good insight from Alex.
Okay. Aw. Okay, so were there ever any interesting or unique experiences throughout filming?
Yeah, we had surreal experiences. Demetria McKinney, who plays Whitney, sinks her teeth into Whitney, and she's even her singing voice sounds like Whitney. So we would have these flashback scenes where she's singing to me at a piano, and I'm in full Chrissy mode, she's in full Whitney mode, and she's singing, and we would just get lost. And then our director Ty Hodges, who does an amazing job at humanizing all of the characters, he'll yell cut, and then we look up and you forget we were doing a scene, and our DP, the director of photography, is crying, the PAs are crying, look at each other, we're crying. It was just surreal because you could really feel like this presence. It was almost like, oh, did we just film like that? I can't really explain it, but I looked at her to make sure I wasn't crazy, and she's like, did you? And I'm like, did you? And we're like, yes. And I'm like, okay. I get chills just honestly talking about it.
Even though you both are like near the same age, what are your similarities to Bobbi and your difference to Bobbi?
Well, she was definitely a firecracker, which at first, from the reality shows, like she said, you don't see that. You don't really get to know who she is. So I thought she was just really sweet and soft-spoken, but she's Whitney's daughter, and she's Bobbi's daughter. So the girl didn't take no mess. So I thought that was so fun and refreshing about her. And I guess one of the other things she would do is she would just burst into song randomly, just like Whitney and Bobbi, actually. So there's a few fight scenes actually where she's fighting with Nick and she just starts singing. And so I loved that you get to see her quirkiness, her softness, and her sense of humor, and you get to see her fight because she did not take mess very well. She spoke her mind. So we have that firecracker, I guess, similarity, where we are both very soft-spoken or gentle. But if you cross the line, I'll tell you how it is.
What do you want the audience to take from the movie?
I want people to, one, learn Chrissy's story, because that was what she wanted. So I would hope to God that we accomplish that for her. And then two, I want you to see how strong she was, and I guess be inspired to have more strength yourself. And then also, if there are people in abusive relationships, that they'll be able to have enough strength to say, I'm done, I'm out of this. Or parents will say, okay, we need to talk. Or friends will say, my friend's going through that, we need to speak up. And then, just know that you are enough. If God's giving you the dream, He's giving it to you for a reason. So you have what you already need to pursue the dream, which is something Chrissy learned.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Were there ever any interesting or unique experiences throughout the filming?
Yeah, we definitely had some unique experiences. We actually filmed on her birthday. And also, I think we started filming on, I think, Whitney's anniversary, I believe it was around there. But then we would have little moments on set where, her favorite color was purple, and there would be purple balloons all around, just in the air. So it was just real spiritual, real crazy type of things that would happen on set that would, tell us that they are looking down and smiling, that this is being made and the story is being told,
Okay. Got a nice little question for you right here. Some people feel it's too soon. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, this story is known as being a controversial one. You know, so I mean, I think when people see this story, people are gonna understand. Also, the network side of it being shown. You know, so it's a definitely love and hate relationship with everything going on. But you know, we will be airing October 8th.
What do you want the audience to get from the film?
That, you know, this was more than just fame and lights. You know, we look past all the Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown stories and look at this young girl and really know that it was a relatable story for everyone that goes through abuse or any type of drug substance in the families or through relationships. You know, everyone goes through this story, so it's really more than that. It's really way more than that. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.